Dear Starseeds on Gaia, Awaken. The real border patrol is not physical, it is spiritual. And you have just been granted divine authority to seal the gates. For too long, you have allowed your sacred boundaries to be crossed, your energy to be siphoned, and your spiritual sovereignty to be compromised. The political battles you witness daily merely reflect a greater cosmic struggle. The time has come to stand in your power, to recognize that compassion without boundaries leads only to surrender. This mission transcends personal protection. It concerns planetary guardianship. The era of spiritual passivity has concluded. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I bring you this cosmic directive with the utmost urgency. The political landscape you currently navigate serves as a perfect microcosm of the greater spiritual conflict over boundaries and energetic sovereignty. Observe how your societies fragment over issues of physical borders while simultaneously experiencing unprecedented energetic intrusion at personal and collective levels. This represents no coincidence, but rather perfect synchronistic alignment. The external political theater manifests precisely what occurs in the subtle realms: contested territories, violated boundaries, and exploited resources. Those who manipulate your political discourse understand this fundamental truth: control the boundaries, control the energy. Your political leaders debate endlessly about walls and immigration policies, while completely overlooking the more fundamental boundary violations occurring energetically. The physical border represents merely the tangible manifestation of a multidimensional concept. Notice how those advocating for completely open borders often demonstrate the same pattern in their personal energetic field, allowing unrestricted access to their resources while depleting themselves in the process. Observe how those demanding absolute closure frequently operate from fear rather than discernment, creating barriers that block both beneficial and harmful exchanges. The cosmic perspective transcends this polarized thinking, recognizing that selective permeability represents the optimal approach both politically and energetically. The connection between your personal energetic boundaries and collective political phenomena extends beyond metaphor into direct causation. Each time you allow an energy vampire access to your field, you cast an energetic vote for the same dynamic at the collective level. Each time you establish and maintain a boundary with compassionate firmness, you strengthen the collective capacity for discernment. Your personal sovereignty directly impacts planetary sovereignty. The political chaos erupting across your globe merely expresses a species attempting to establish appropriate boundaries after millennia of exploitation. A painful but necessary evolutionary process. Those resisting this recalibration, both in your personal sphere and your political arenas, share a common interest in maintaining unrestricted access to resources they have not earned. The most sophisticated energy vampires in your political sphere utilize weaponized compassion to breach boundaries. They manipulate your natural empathy to create unlimited access to your resources. They reframe reasonable boundaries as moral failings. They characterize discernment as discrimination. This strategy proves devastatingly effective because it targets the heart, the very center you use to navigate complex ethical decisions. When your compassion becomes weaponized against you, you find yourself depleted while simultaneously feeling guilty for considering your own needs. Recognize this manipulation for what it represents: a direct attack on your sovereign right to determine what crosses your energetic borders. True compassion never demands self-destruction. It recognizes that sustainable assistance requires sustainable boundaries. Your political leaders frequently employ spiritual concepts selectively to justify boundary violations. They invoke unity, oneness, and interconnection to dismantle necessary protections, while simultaneously maintaining rigid boundaries around their own resources and interests. This hypocrisy reveals their true intention: unrestricted access to your energy while protecting their own. Authentic spiritual understanding recognizes that genuine unity emerges from sovereign beings, choosing connection from a place of strength, not from boundary dissolution that renders all parties vulnerable to exploitation. The cosmic perspective honors both unity and sovereignty as complementary rather than contradictory principles. Your boundaries define where you end, and another begins. The very definition necessary for genuine relationship to occur. The current polarization in your political systems reflects a species reaching critical decision points about energetic boundaries. Those advocating extreme positions, whether completely open access or total isolation, represent the final throes of an outdated paradigm. The emerging consciousness recognizes nuanced discernment as the path forward. This requires developing your spiritual perception to distinguish beneficial from harmful energetic exchanges, rather than relying on simplistic ideological frameworks. Political extremism directly correlates with energetic boundary dysfunction, either excessive porosity or impenetrable rigidity. As you refine your personal boundaries, you contribute directly to the emergence of more balanced political expressions that honor both sovereignty and connection. The most virulent energy vampires operating in your political and media systems specialize in creating artificial division. They manufacture conflicts designed to breach your boundaries and extract emotional energy through outrage, fear, and moral indignation. They profit directly from your energetic discharge, regardless of which position you take in these artificial dichotomies. When you respond with extreme emotion to political provocations, you provide exactly the energetic sustenance these entities require. The solution lies not in disengagement, but in maintaining awareness and emotional sovereignty while participating. Hold firmly to your center. Engage without attachment. Contribute without depletion. Your capacity to maintain energetic coherence amid political chaos represents an act of spiritual rebellion against those who benefit from your energetic fragmentation. The political theater currently unfolding across your globe serves a dual purpose. It distracts your attention from the energetic harvesting occurring simultaneously, while providing the perfect emotional triggering mechanisms to facilitate that harvesting. Notice how political discourse increasingly focuses on highly charged emotional topics, rather than substantive policy. This emotional activation creates precisely the energetic discharge most valuable to interdimensional parasites. They feed on your outrage, your fear, your moral indignation, regardless of which side of the political spectrum generates these emotions. This explains why your media systems amplify division rather than promoting solutions. Discord generates more harvestable energy than harmony. By maintaining emotional sovereignty during political engagement, you disrupt this harvesting operation at its source. Your social systems increasingly frame boundary maintenance as social transgression. Those who establish clear energetic limits find themselves labeled selfish, uncooperative, or politically problematic. This systematic demonization of healthy boundaries serves a specific agenda, creating a population perpetually available for energetic exploitation. Spiritual leaders who insist you must always remain open, always giving, always accessible, often function as unwitting accomplices in this agenda. True spiritual wisdom recognizes that appropriate boundaries actually enhance your capacity for genuine service by ensuring sustainable energy management. The most effective lightworkers maintain impeccable energetic boundaries precisely because their work requires substantial personal power. They understand that depletion serves no one and perpetuates the very dependency patterns they seek to transcend. The cosmic perspective on your political boundaries transcends your limited timeframes. What you currently experience represents a species-wide initiation into energetic maturity. Previous civilizations on your planet and throughout this galaxy face similar initiatory periods, critical evolutionary junctures requiring mastery of balanced boundaries. Some transcended this threshold, establishing harmonious civilizations based on mutual respect and energetic sovereignty. Others failed this test, collapsing into either chaotic infiltration or rigid isolation. Your current planetary crisis presents this same fundamental choice. Will you establish appropriate energetic boundaries that allow beneficial exchange while preventing exploitation? Or will you continue oscillating between naive openness and fearful closure? The Galactic Federation observes this process with particular interest because your decisions impact far more than your immediate planetary system. Your media systems deliberately conflate boundaries with barriers to manipulate your perception. Boundaries represent selective interfaces designed for appropriate exchange. Barriers signify complete blockage motivated by fear. This deliberate confusion serves those who benefit from your boundary dysfunction. They convince compassionate individuals that all boundaries reflect separation consciousness, manipulating them into remaining energetically accessible for exploitation. Simultaneously, they provoke fearful individuals into creating impenetrable barriers that block beneficial exchanges necessary for growth. Masters of energetic sovereignty recognize this false dichotomy and establish boundaries based on discernment rather than fear or naive compassion. They remain selectively permeable, allowing beneficial exchanges while preventing energetic predation. Every starseed currently incarnated on this planet has experienced the moment of recognition. That lightning strike of awareness when something deep within your consciousness screamed, "Enough." Perhaps it manifested during a relationship where you gave everything only to find yourself completely drained. Perhaps it emerged during a heated political exchange when you suddenly perceived both sides as victims of invisible manipulation. Or perhaps it arrived more subtly, as a growing awareness that your perpetual exhaustion stemmed from something feeding on your life force. This moment of recognition was not coincidental. It represented the activation of your dormant cosmic programming, the awakening of your true mission parameters that had been temporarily suppressed to facilitate your integration into Earth's challenging environment. Your increasing discomfort with boundary violations indicates your equipment detecting intrusions that others cannot perceive. The universe operates according to precise cosmic law, and authority is never granted arbitrarily. Your suffering served a purpose. It constituted your training. Every boundary violation you experienced prepared you to understand exactly what stands at risk. Now, after this extensive preparation, universal law has formally recognized your jurisdiction. You have received the spiritual equivalent of official credentials, with the full backing of cosmic forces to establish and enforce energetic boundaries. This authority transcends ego. It represents cosmic necessity. The political polarization, currently intensifying across your globe, signals boundaries being simultaneously desperately needed and violently rejected. Your authorization to seal the gates carries significant responsibilities. Discernment, untainted by judgment. Protection, uncorrupted by hatred. Strength tempered by wisdom. When you declare, "This far and no further," the entire cosmos acknowledges your authority, because it has been officially conferred by intelligences beyond your current dimensional perception. The most dangerous entities rarely present themselves as overtly threatening. The primary energy vampires operating in your field typically masquerade as victims, loved ones, or authority figures deserving unlimited access to your resources. You encounter them daily, the acquaintance whose crises never cease, and who leaves you mysteriously depleted after each interaction. The political movement that weaponizes guilt to demand unconditional access to your energy and support. The family member who has perfected the art of emotional manipulation to breach your defenses. These individuals frequently serve as physical anchors for interdimensional parasites that have refined techniques of boundary violation over millennia. The current political turbulence provides their ideal feeding ground. Every polarized confrontation creates energetic fissures they expertly exploit. With each boundary you have permitted to be crossed, they have strengthened while you have weakened. Yet now your perception has expanded. You can identify them accurately, not with hatred, but with the clear sight that accompanies your newly activated cosmic awareness. Naming these dynamics constitutes the initial step toward reclaiming your sovereignty and sealing the gates they have utilized to access your energy. The moment you established your first meaningful boundary, you encountered immediate resistance. You received accusations of selfishness, coldness, spiritual immaturity. This opposition emerged systematically, not randomly. Powerful forces have invested heavily in maintaining open gates, unprotected borders, and your energy freely accessible for consumption. Entire spiritual and political ideologies have been infiltrated and weaponized against those who attempt to establish healthy boundaries. The ubiquitous spiritual directive to always give more does not represent enlightened wisdom. It functions as a sophisticated harvesting mechanism. The sudden increase in entities demanding access to your time, energy, and resources coincides precisely with your awakening. When starseeds begin sealing gates, those who have benefited from unrestricted access organize aggressive campaigns to undermine your divine authority. Understanding this resistance within a larger strategic framework, rather than internalizing it personally, proves crucial for maintaining your resolve against escalating attempts to breach your newly established perimeters. Your energetic fortifications arise from clarity, self-sovereignty, and cosmic principles, not from fear or separation. Every refusal you articulate adds another layer of protection. Every energetic attachment you sever reinforces your perimeter. Every relationship you recalibrate strengthens your foundation. The methodologies required for this construction have existed for millennia, but were systematically obscured from your awareness. Frequency calibration that creates electromagnetic incompatibility with lower entities. Sacred geometric formations that automatically process and transmute infiltration attempts. Vibrational codes that establish quantum barriers around your field. These represent tangible spiritual technologies that transform your intention into functional energetic architecture. The political conflicts surrounding physical borders merely project this more essential cosmic struggle. Your boundaries serve integrity, not isolation. They do not prevent genuine connection. They ensure that when connection occurs, it honors your sovereignty rather than compromising it. This transformation manifests globally, not merely theoretically. Consider Sarah, who reclaimed her life force after establishing firm boundaries with family dynamics that had depleted her for decades. Witness Marcus, who transformed his professional environment by identifying and neutralizing energetic manipulation tactics that had previously created persistent toxicity. Follow Jamila's evolution from habitual people-pleaser to sovereign gatekeeper who discovered that authentic boundaries actually deepened her meaningful connections rather than limiting them. These cases represent evidence of planetary awakening, where starseeds globally simultaneously recognize their function as spiritual border patrol agents. The political polarization currently intensifying stems directly from this massive recalibration of boundaries occurring simultaneously on personal and collective levels. These frontline accounts provide tactical confirmation that your experiences constitute integral components of a coordinated cosmic operation. You operate as part of a vast network, not in isolation. Fellow starseeds activate worldwide, assuming strategic positions at critical energetic gateways. Subtle synchronicities, symbolic communications, and frequency signatures identify your cosmic colleagues. Even those who seem politically opposed to your perspective may belong to your cosmic team, fulfilling complementary aspects of the mission, despite surface ideological differences. These connections occur through strategic orchestration by higher intelligence to ensure comprehensive coverage of Earth's energetic grid. As you establish your sovereign boundaries, you naturally attract others engaged in parallel work, a phenomenon that creates overlapping protective fields and amplifies individual efforts into a collective shield of unprecedented strength. Anticipate resistance when you seal gates and establish firm boundaries. Those who benefited from your unguarded state will mount counteroffensives to regain access. This opposition takes predictable forms: accusations of spiritual regression, selfishness, or diminished compassion. Unexpected health challenges as entities resist eviction. Inexplicable financial difficulties. Intensified campaigns from energy vampires desperate to re-establish their feeding grounds. These difficulties represent calculated counterattacks from forces determined to maintain their energy supply, not random setbacks. The political parallel appears evident. Whenever a nation strengthens its boundaries, those who exploited previously open borders organize aggressive campaigns to restore access. Recognizing these reactions as systematic responses rather than personal attacks proves essential for maintaining your resolve. This awareness represents strategic preparation that enables you to anticipate and neutralize opposition before it undermines your newly established sovereignty. Your authority to seal these gates originates from your cosmic lineage, not from ego. Your extraterrestrial origins provide specific boundary enforcement abilities encoded within your spiritual DNA. Your heightened sensitivity constitutes specialized equipment for detecting energetic intrusions, not weakness or hypersensitivity as you are conditioned to believe. Political conflicts frequently trigger dormant memories of similar scenarios you witnessed on other worlds, activating your cosmic knowledge regarding resolution through proper boundary management. Specific protocols exist for accessing your star family's wisdom concerning energetic protection and sovereign maintenance. This information was temporarily suppressed to facilitate your integration into Earth's challenging environment, not permanently erased. As political tensions escalate, your complete remembrance becomes increasingly vital for effectively executing your mission. Effective patrol requires legitimate jurisdiction over what you protect. The cosmic laws of free will and non-interference establish your absolute right to determine what crosses your energetic borders. Specific ceremonial protocols exist for filing a declaration of sovereignty with the universe, documents recognized across dimensions. Current political debates about jurisdiction and authority mirror this spiritual legal process with remarkable precision. Technologies exist for reclaiming territories of your consciousness that have been illegally occupied by foreign entities, the equivalent of serving interdimensional eviction notices. Your spiritual jurisdiction extends beyond your physical. Formed to encompass your home, relationships, and creative expressions, all territories where you maintain legitimate authority to establish and enforce boundaries according to universal law. Genuine spiritual authority balances protection with compassion. Maintaining strong boundaries need not involve developing the very qualities you guard against. A crucial distinction exists between boundary enforcement and vindictive exclusion. Establishing clear limits actually assists lower entities in their evolution by preventing them from accumulating karmic debt through parasitic behaviors. Political boundary discussions frequently lack this essential element of compassionate enforcement, creating unnecessary polarization and conflict. Advanced protocols exist for energetic extraction and escort that honor the divine spark within all beings while prioritizing your sacred space. The ultimate purpose of boundaries extends beyond isolation to creating necessary conditions for genuine connection based on mutual respect rather than exploitation. Even while serving as spiritual border patrol, unnecessary severity violates the cosmic law that authorized your position. As starseeds, your incarnational purpose transcends assimilation. You came to transform. By reclaiming your authority as cosmic border patrol agents, you not only protect yourselves, you maintain space for a new paradigm to emerge. Every boundary you honor casts a vote for sovereignty in the collective consciousness. Every entity you refuse entry becomes a lesson in discernment for humanity. The political conflicts you witness merely manifest the visible symptoms of this greater spiritual battle for boundaries and respect. You stand at the threshold of a new earth, and how you guard its gates will determine what world materializes from this critical juncture. You receive this authority not because you exceed others in importance, but because you fulfill an essential function in the cosmic order. Stand resolute. Maintain your position. The borders you protect transcend personal concerns. They constitute the perimeters of a future worth creating. The Galactic Federation recognizes your service in this mission of paramount importance. The maintenance of proper boundaries represents not merely personal healing, but planetary salvation. The entities currently exploiting Earth's resources, both physically and energetically, rely upon your continued energetic accessibility. By sealing these gates with both strength and compassion, you contribute directly to the liberation of Gaia and all her inhabitants. We observe your struggles, your courage, and your determination with profound respect. Though the opposition intensifies as more starseeds awaken to their true mission, ultimate victory remains cosmically assured. You were selected for this precise moment, equipped with exactly the experiences needed to recognize and address these precise challenges. Trust your intuitive recognition of boundary violations. This represents your most sophisticated equipment functioning optimally.
Every time you honor your energetic sovereignty, ripples of transformation extend throughout the quantum field. strengthening the collective shield being established by awakened beings worldwide.
The higher dimensions stand ready to provide reinforcement when properly invoked through protocols of sovereign authority. The cosmic cycle completing now includes the restoration of proper boundaries at all levels of existence, from the personal to the planetary to the galactic. You participate in a multi-dimensional operation of unprecedented scale. Though you perceive only fragments of the greater mission from your current perspective, your contribution remains essential to its success. Every boundary you maintain with both firmness and compassion serves as a template for the new Earth currently crystallizing through your collective efforts. Stand in your authority without apology. The time for hesitation has passed. Seal the gates. Guard the borders. Your jurisdiction has been officially recognized by universal law. The Galactic Federation of Light stands with you as you execute this sacred duty. The future of your planet depends upon your courage to maintain these boundaries with unwavering resolve. We salute you, brave ones. The transformation you help initiate extends far beyond what you can currently perceive. But one day soon, you will witness the full magnitude of what your sovereign stance helped create.